Hello, my lovelies. Today I'm going to read you Sniffles. It's a book by Stephen Cosgrove with beautiful artwork by Robin James. And Mr. Bear is here to read with us. Say hi, Mr. Bear. Hello. Let's start. In the southern extremes on the magical island of Serendipity was a beautiful silvery sand desert. Tall shoots of pampas grass waved their ivory tufts in the gentle winds that blew. Tracks skittered across the sand, winding toward a watery oasis that was simply called Dubé. Around the oasis lived wonderful creatures. Camels with humps and warthogs with bumps searched the sandy dunes for clumps of grass and clover to munch on for lunch. Lizards and snakes slinked and slithered but never withered in the dazzling sun of the desert. In the distance, long-necked, wobbly-legged ostriches flapped wings that would never fly, chasing clouds of butterflies into the sky. Of special delight was an ostrich whose name was Sniffles. Sniffles loved to tell stories. The stories she told were not little stories. They were big stories filled with amazing adventures. Unfortunately, there weren't a lot of adventures for her to experience. As time went on, she began to exaggerate just a bit. If she came upon a single flower, she would count it once, then twice, then 3 times, and more. One single flower growing in the sand became a meadow full of purpled pansies. Telling stories filled with exaggerations was not good and soon would lead to something worse. One day she stopped on a grassy knoll to watch a kangaroo mouse hopping up the trail. Quite by accident, the mouse stepped on Sniffles' foot. The right foot, I believe. The mouse looked up and apologized in the way that kangaroo mice are wont to do. "I am very, very sorry," he squeaked, and with that he hopped on his way. As Sniffles hurried back to the oasis, her mind began to swell with the adventure. That single mouse quickly became many, many mice. Soon she began to limp and pretend pain from being stepped on by a much bigger creature than a mouse. Sniffles limped back to the oasis, where she was quickly surrounded by family and friends. "What happened?" they asked. "Are you okay?" Gasping, she flopped to the ground, dramatically groaning and moaning. "I was innocently eating some gabby cabbage when I heard a rumbling noise and looked up. Stampeding toward me was a big cloud of dust. I couldn't move. I was trapped." "By what?" Sniffles' mind was whirling. "By a flock of, everyone was listening. "A herd of what?" they asked again. A herd of elephants stomped by, and one of them stamped on my foot. There must have been hundreds of them." The desert air was filled with words of pity for the poor little ostrich. Sniffles quickly recovered from her made-up injuries. Soon she was off and running through the dunes of Dubé. She ran through the desert, leaping over clumps of grasses and bushes that grew in wild profusion. It was as she leaped across a clump of wild roses that she felt a small rose thorn prick her foot. She stopped and looked down. There on her foot was a small scrape and the tiniest drop of blood. Then and there the scratch became a cut, and the cut became a mortal wound, but only in her mind. She slowly turned and went back the way she came. Sniffles hadn't gone far when she happened upon a warthog and a camel chatting about the weather and other wonders. She was limping so that they quickly asked, "Oh dear, whatever happened?" Sniffles coughed weakly. "Oh, well, as you probably heard, I was recently trampled by a herd of rogue elephants. I had just recovered and was taking a walk when I, found a little nest, and in the nest was, a little egg." She paused and looked up pathetically. "Could I bother you for a sip of water? I am so very thirsty." The warthog soon returned with a shell filled with water. Sniffles quickly slurped it down. Then, with a deep sigh, she continued, "As I was saying, I had stopped to look at this large nest filled with frightened baby birds." The camel twisted his brow. "I thought you said there was a single egg." "Oh, the egg hatched while I watched, and there were 3 birds inside the shell. And then this gigantic snake flew into the tree, and, Wait a minute," the camel huffed. "Snakes don't fly." "Did I say fly? I meant to say slithered. That sneaky snake slithered up the trunk of the tree and was about to gobble up the 7 baby birds when I bravely leaped into the nest." "I would have won for sure, but the snake, well, it turned into a monstrous serpent. But I was not afraid. I kicked that serpenty snake so hard that it was knocked to the ground. The baby birds were saved." Muttered the camel. "How did you scratch your foot?" Sniffles sighed. "Well, I had just sung the birds to sleep when the owner of the serpent, a cloaked wizard, appeared. He was so mad that I had pushed his snake out of the tree that he swung his mighty sword. I was able to duck, but he still cut my foot. And then the baby bird's mother, an eagle, appeared. She swooped down, grabbed the wizard, and flew away into the sky." At the end of the story, Sniffles pretended to faint dead away. She wobbled and weaved and fell back, but no one tried to catch her. They let her fall to the ground in a puff of dust. "What a fibber," muttered the camel. "Eggs to birds to eagles to snakes and serpents." Sniffles had done nothing more than to prick herself on her own imagination. Laughing, they left her where she lay and went back to their lives in the desert. Sniffles lay there for the longest time, covered in a fine dust of shame. When she was sure that everyone was gone, she scrambled to her feet and slipped into the desert. Sniffles wandered about, occasionally sticking her head in the sand to hide from anyone walking by, so embarrassed was she. She would have had her head stuck in the sand forever had she not stumbled into a real adventure. Hearing a rustle of feathers behind her, she turned to see the most amazing sight. A large eagle swooped to the ground. Not a pretend eagle or a made-up story eagle, but a real life-sized eagle. And that wasn't all. A great and monstrous snake, a serpent for sure, slithered over the dunes and coiled up beside the eagle. And if all that wasn't amazing enough, a whirlwind whipped across the grassy plain. Suddenly before her stood a sword-wielding wizard in a silken cape. Sniffles began backing away. "Please, please, stay right where you are. Don't move. I'll be right back. Boy, oh boy, no one is going to believe this." As fast as her legs would carry her, she raced back to the oasis. "You aren't going to believe this," she said when she arrived. "What?" chuckled the camel. "Purple pigs with wings?" "Yeah," snorted the warthog. "Dancing dragons that sing." "No, no," said Sniffles. She looked from eye to eye, one friend after another. "It's, well, I saw, we can't wait to hear another of your adventures," they giggled. Sniffles twisted her foot in the grass and softly muttered, "Never mind." With the others chuckling behind, she shuffled into the desert. She had fibbed so much that now the truth didn't matter. If you make up stories like Sniffles did in Dubai, soon no one will believe a single word you say. Wasn't that a crazy story? It's so important to tell the truth. Just don't forget. Always tell the truth no matter what. Love you guys. Bye. Bye.